Hello my YouTube family. Welcome back to Time Vault Chronicles, your window into the forgotten past. Today, we're rolling up our sleeves and diving right in. Imagine being a kid in the 1960s, playing outside in the snow. Ah, those good old days, right? Well, not exactly. You see, it wasn't just any old winter. It was the winter of 1962, 1963. What most people refer to as the Big Freeze. That was the longest and coldest winter in the 20th century. Yes, the whole 20th century. We're talking about temperatures so low that even the birds dropped like flies. There was no global warming back then. Trust me, if you weren't there, you wouldn't believe it. Roads were blocked, trains were jammed, people were stuck at home, and milk froze on the doorsteps. You didn't need an ice cube tray. Just step outside and fill them up. Now, let me take you back to those days. It was the 27th of December in 1962, a regular day in England, right? Wrong. A harsh wind blew across the land, whispering tales of winter's wrath. The temperature was dropping, but nobody really cared. People went about their daily lives, unaware of the icy tale that was about to unfold. On New Year's Eve, though, something changed. Snow fell, covering the ground in a blanket of white. At first, it was fun. Children laughed as they built snowmen and sledded down hills. Parents watched with amusement, sipping hot cocoa by the fire. But soon the laughter died down and the amusement faded away. As the snow kept falling, day after day, week after week, the fun turned into a struggle. By the beginning of January, the whole of Britain found itself in the grip of winter's fury. It was cold, so freezing that the average temperature plummeted to -6 degrees Celsius, which is about 21 Fahrenheit. In fact, it got so freezing cold that the River Thames froze over. Can you imagine that? The River Thames froze over. The river was covered in a thick layer of ice, making it look like a giant skating rink. People gathered on the banks, bundled up in coats and scarves, and watched in awe. And you won't believe this, but the ice was so thick that people actually started skating on it. They held on to each other for support and glided across the frozen surface, laughing and cheering. It must have been quite a sight to see. Now, let's talk about the roads. Oh my friend, the roads were a mess. The snow piled up, making it hard for people to get around. Cars were stuck in the snowdrifts, unable to move forward. Buses and trains were delayed or canceled altogether. People had to walk long distances to work or school, and sometimes they couldn't even get there. Schools were closed because it was too dangerous for the children to walk around. No one could have predicted what was about to happen next. The snow continued to fall relentlessly, causing chaos in every corner of the country. The train tracks were buried in snow, disrupting the vital links between cities. Many trains couldn't operate, leaving thousands of passengers stranded. And those who were lucky enough to catch a train had to endure long delays and cancellations. The railway workers worked tirelessly to clear the tracks and keep the trains running, but it was a losing battle against the relentless snow. And this led to empty shelves in the supermarkets. People couldn't get to work to stock the shelves, and the shops couldn't stay open without enough staff. It was a vicious cycle. But here's where things got really interesting. The government decided to take action. They wanted to make sure everyone had enough to eat, so they asked farmers to help. The farmers had food, but they needed a way to deliver it to the stores. But how could they deliver it when the roads were blocked by snow? Well, the answer was simple: airlift it. Yes, you heard that right. They delivered food by air. Helicopters and planes flew over the countryside, dropping food supplies onto makeshift landing strips near the supermarkets. It must have looked like something out of a movie, but it was real life in the winter of 1962. 1963. The food supplies were essential. People could unget fresh vegetables or fruit because the farms were buried in snow and the delivery trucks could unreach them. So the government stepped in to help. And let's not forget about the famous Red Army. They didn't fight battles, but they did face tough conditions. When the snow piled up, blocking roads and making travel impossible, the Red Army came to the rescue. No, not that Red Army. These soldiers wore red berets and carried shovels instead of guns. Their mission: clear the roads, and deliver supplies to those in need. They worked day and night, braving the freezing temperatures and heavy snowfall. They cleared paths for emergency vehicles, delivered food and medicine to isolated communities, and helped stranded motorists. Their courage and determination were key to helping people stay safe and warm during the harsh winter. People were stuck in their homes. The snow piled up high, blocking roads and making it impossible to get in or out. Families were forced to stay inside for weeks, with no fresh food or supplies. Some ran out of food, forcing people to rely on their neighbors or the Red Army for help. In some cases, entire villages were cut off from the outside world, turning back the clock to a time when communities were more self-sufficient. But it wasn't all bad. People came together to help each other out. They shared food and supplies, looked after each other's children and elderly neighbors, and even organized community kitchens to make sure no one went hungry. It was a true test of the human spirit, showing that even in the darkest times, kindness and compassion can shine through. Now, let's talk about the aftermath of this great freeze. After 3 months of winter's wrath, the temperature finally started to rise. The snow began to melt, revealing the world we knew. The big freeze was finally over, but the impact it left behind was profound. Many families struggled to recover, both financially and emotionally. The disruption to their daily lives had been significant, and the cost of heating their homes in the aftermath was a burden. But amidst the struggle, there was also resilience. Communities that had come together during the crisis continued to support each other, helping to rebuild their lives and finding strength in their shared experiences. The winter of 1962-1963 was a pivotal moment in British history. It tested the nation's resolve and revealed the true meaning of resilience and unity. The spirit of the people to keep going, to help one another, and to face the challenges head-on was truly inspiring. And while the big freeze may have been a harsh reminder of nature's power, it also showcased the strength and compassion of the human spirit. So now, I want to hear from you. Did you grow up during the big freeze? If so, what are your earliest memories of that winter? Share your experiences in the comments below. Also, tell us what you found most surprising about the big freeze and why you think the winter of 1962-1963 is still remembered today. Before we part ways, I have a favor to ask. If you enjoyed this trip back in time, show your support by liking the video. Subscribe to Time Vault Chronicles and click the notification bell. Your support means everything to us. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time, and until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the fascinating stories that shaped our past. Goodbye.